we were one pass away or one catch away or one mistake away of being in the World Series. How do you, coming in now, change that belief of, yeah, we've made that mistake, but if we look at it this way, we can achieve it this way, instead of harping? Because I think a lot of what we do as sportsmen, coaches, athletes, we always harping on the failure instead of changing the mindset to be positive.
But failure is a great thing. Without failure, there is no success. How can you learn if you don't do things wrong?
Right.
And again, so we talk about coaching. If people don't do things wrong, how can you point out the issues that need to be addressed? So I encourage failure. When people do, I want them to try things. Right. And if they get them wrong, it allows us to point out how they could do them better. Mm-hmm. Or, what the impact or knock-on effect of that is. So if you take that, I suppose, on the bigger scale, and I can't talk about what's gone on in the past in Germany because I wasn't here, so I don't know enough, but I would have thought if, that would be the same thing. We almost got there. What did we do wrong? And if we did something wrong, how can we make it better? Because that's coaching in a nutshell. Yeah. You play a game on a Saturday, you then think about it. If you won, what did we do really well? We've got to keep doing that. Are there any things we can improve on? Yep, those are the things that we're going to work on in training. And if you lost, why did we lose? And was it because of something we did, or was it something that we didn't prepare for properly? Right. Without failure, there wouldn't be a coach. If we're all successful all the time, we wouldn't need someone to on the outside. So I think that's true to life, though, isn't it? You try things that don't work, then you want to know why they didn't work, and if I change them, will it allow me to get better in the future?
Right. That's something I sometimes have to draw back on from my theatre experience, especially with all players, any players. You're confronted with very many different things on a daily basis in a different show. 2,000 people in front of you. Sometimes they react to the way you would have said a line, versus the other day it doesn't work, and then you go back and you think about it, and sometimes you have to draw back on that experience of going, look, it's not always going to happen the same way you want it to. We can plan for everything, but sometimes it just doesn't happen that way.
The thing, performance and the theatre is, in my humble opinion, is coaching. So I've made this point before on other podcasts. Every time I go in front of a team, I'm performing. Yeah. So if I bought a ticket to a matinee show, I'd expect to be entertained to the best, just as if I'd bought a ticket for the Saturday evening main show of the week. Yeah. You expect a great performance because you bought a ticket. So every time a player, boy, girl, man, woman, comes to a session, they're coming to be educated and entertained to a degree. Yeah. So if you're not enthusiastic, how could you expect them to be enthusiastic? If you bring all your problems with you and things are going badly at home, so you take it, you're in a bad mood and you coach in that way, you spoil the session. Every time you step on the field, it's like being a teacher at school. I can remember the teachers. I'm 60 years old. I can remember way back to when I was at primary school. I can see the faces, and I remember the names of my favourite teachers because how they made me feel in sessions, how they put the lessons across, and I always thought it was fantastic. They did little voices when they told stories, and they brought things alive. And I've tried to take that into my coaching. When I step onto the field, I have to be enthusiastic. It's a performance that I have to give the best. And you have to deliver things in the right way and make sure your message is right. And, you have to be patient when you need to be patient. It's not easy being a coach.
I'm so glad that I'm not the only one who performs when they're coaching.
But the trouble is, you're probably good at it. I think I tell jokes. I think I'm funny, and I think they're laughing at me, not with me. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, I think a lot of the problem is when we do tell jokes, when we're here in this country, we're against the language barrier, so it takes time for it to hit.
I've done that around the world, though. I've got to a point now where I just tell jokes and laugh at them myself because
Or you have a thought in your head and you're like, don't say it out loud because...
Oh, no, I just say it now and they laugh at me laughing at my own jokes because I've done it, wherever I've been where people don't really understand what I'm on about.
Brilliant.
But, yeah.
That is absolutely brilliant. But going forward, so COVID has hit us and it's impacted our lives. One thing I always have said about COVID in a way is we are in a way fortunate that it's happened in the technology era.